Hello, everyone. Thank you for waiting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone on this call from anywhere you are joining us in the world. Trust you're doing great this lovely day. My name is Omidiji Fiolua. I'm a digital marketing associate here at Ha-Shem Limited, the pride of Nigeria's IT industry. And I'll be your moderator for today. Also co-moderating with me is my colleague Michael Adelaja. But before I move on, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the SolarWinds team. We have joining us here on this call the senior sales engineer at SolarWinds, Joe Blagg. We also have the sales manager ITSM SolarWinds with us here, Ryan Keegan, and finally Olajimi Abioro, inside sales representative SolarWinds. Hello, Joel. How are you doing this lovely afternoon?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Well, good to hear you. Thank you. And how about you, Ryan? How are you?
Very well, sir, and thanks so much for hosting us today. I'm looking forward to getting into this.
Awesome, thank you. And Olajimi Abioro, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you, Fiolua.
All right, so before I go on with a quick overview, I'd just like if you could further introduce yourself to us. Olajimi, I hope you got me.
Oh yeah. So my name is Abiru Olajimi, and I'm the account manager responsible for service desk opportunities in Africa, Nigeria inclusive. And here, like Ryan said, we're looking forward to joining this presentation, and I'm always available for further inquiries also.
Oh, thank you. That's good to hear. So now we know the basic reason why we're here today is to have a peek into seeing how SolarWinds Service Desk works. And Joe will be the one running us through the demo. And just a little note about Joe Blagg, to whom I'll be handing over in some few minutes right after we have a quick demo a quick overview I'm just going to be running us through. Now, Joel has worked in pre-sales engineering and IT service management since 2003. He has been with SolarWinds for almost 3 years now, and has, before moving into his pre-sales career, he was a service desk manager for a law firm, and has always had a passion for helping IT departments provide excellent support and service for the business. So trust me when I say that we have found ourselves in good company here today. Now I'll have a quick overview into the world of SolarWinds Service Desk. So as you can see my screen being shared now, I'd like to basically run us through a quick overview before I would then be handing over to Blagg. All right, so on my screen here, you can see the IT service management layer in the SolarWinds portfolio, and basically how it shows SolarWinds operation management portfolio ranging from applications performance management, database performance management, infrastructure management, and of course, network management. And to my next slide here, you would basically see the build of SolarWinds Service Desk, which is the fact that it is a cloud-based software as a service multi-tenant platform built on AWS. And now, just so we are not lost on the purpose of what we are trying to achieve here, which is to help us all understand how SolarWinds Service Desk goes beyond ticketing, but ultimately how you can adopt the capabilities you may need to support every stage of your ITSM journey, from automating service catalog to ticket routing to incident management, compliance, assets management, problem management, integration, and more. Interesting as well, as you can see on my slide here, are the features and capabilities we would find SolarWinds Service Management are built on, which is the very basic fact that it is built on IT best practices, leading with automation from design to execution. Now, of course, the 4 features basically includes incident management, problem management, change management, and release management. And another interesting thing you would enjoy about SolarWinds Service Desk is the engagement channels it has for employees, which gives employees an easily accessible and user-friendly experience, as it allows employees to communicate their needs, through their service portal or through the mobile chats. So in a bit, we will begin with Joel, who's going to be running us through more automation and delivery. using SolarWinds. I mean, we will see through the platform and technology beyond having to do with just ticketing, but much more of how we can adopt the capabilities it offers and how it can be tailored to ITSM needs and how it can support every stage of your ITSM journey, you know, from automating service catalog to ticket routing, incident management, you know, compliance, integration, to much more features and benefits. I mean, I'm really pumped about this right now. And so we'll be hearing much more from Joel, you know, getting to see roll out SolarWinds Service Desk in action. I mean, we get to see it unfold. So shortly before then, a quick note on a few housekeeping rules. Of course, you know, during the session, and of course, you probably have questions you might want to ask. You can, of course, take advantage of the IM window to drop your questions. Myself and Michael is here, you know, we'll be here to give you a quick response on whatever concerns it is you might have. And of course, Ran at the end of the demo, of course, would be attending to other questions you might have as well. So, all right now, so we're ready for Joel. He's going to be showing us a real action with SolarWinds Service Desk. And over to you, Joel. We're ready for
All right,
now.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, folks, thank you so much for your time today. I am very happy to be here to present SolarWinds Service Desk for you. As we start diving into the demo, we're going to start here on the self-service portal. This is really a big component that allows IT to provide the best quality of service to our end users, in that it gives them a place to come look for information, to get some help from IT, to try to resolve their own issues if possible, or to request things such as goods or services from the IT department. To walk through the self-service portal, I'm going to kind of give a story of a day in a life of an end user. I'm logged in right now as Daisy. Daisy works in the marketing department of our company, and she came in extra early this morning to start a new marketing campaign. Recently, IT had rolled out the new dial-pad server, which has given employees the ability to access all their phone calls from their app on their phone. And to get started on her marketing campaign, Daisy needs to import contacts from her email into dial-pad. So she's got a list of all the users she needs to contact. But trying to get that done this morning, it just isn't working out for her. Now, she knows it's early. No one is even at the service desk yet to help her, but she remembers that recently IT sent out an email about the new self-help portal powered by SolarWinds Service Desk. So she finds that email and clicks the link, and it brings her right here to the Service Desk self-service portal. And because we do support single sign-on through various methodologies, she is not even prompted with yet one more login and password that ultimately she'll just forget, but instead it brings her right here to this screen. Now, this is, of course, configurable. You can put your own company's logo and color schemes, change the images, move things around, but we try to make it very easy for the end user without any training required. And sure enough, Daisy sees a field here for what can we help you with? And clicking into that field, she types in, my dial-pad contacts will not sync. And our system has an artificial intelligence engine on the back end. Excuse me one moment, let me just get a quick refresh. And the system is going to be looking for any knowledge base articles and or service request catalog items that pertain to what Daisy has searched for. So sure enough, Daisy sees an article here for dial-pad contacts will not sync. And she clicks on the link, which brings her to this knowledge base record. The more we build out the knowledge base and provide articles for the users, the more chance they have of resolving their own issue, which gets them back to work as quickly as possible. And it just keeps us more productive at the service desk in IT, working on the most critical aspects of technology. These knowledge base articles can include rich text, images, or GIFs, as we see here, videos, charts, tables, or links. And with any luck, Daisy would be able to read down through this article, try the exact steps as listed, and resolve her own issue. Or in this case today, it did not work out for her. She still can't get those dial pad contacts to sync over. Notice we can include a link to go ahead and log a ticket. This brings Daisy to our basic incident logging form for the end users on the self-service portal. She is listed as the requester, and we've got her subject of what she had searched before. Notice if she had skipped the searching to begin with and just gone straight to this new ticket button, once she typed in her subject, what she's having a problem with, those smart suggestions from our artificial intelligence are still going to be pushed by the system to try to get Daisy to do some self-help. But of course, in this case, she had already tried that and it didn't work out. Daisy simply tells us help, but maybe she did capture a screenshot of an error message, and notice she can just drag and drop that right into the description field of this new ticket. Now, optionally, we have the ability to let end users categorize their tickets. Sometimes that could cause more of a mess than it should, but notice that those artificial intelligence smart suggestions are offered up for categorization as well as subcategories. So we can help drive the proper categorization of tickets, which allows us to use automation rules to automatically assign this ticket to the right support technician or support group, set the proper priority for this type of issue, and other things as well. All right, so it's that easy for Daisy to submit a new ticket into the self-service portal. That then brings her here to her list of all of her past tickets in the system. She can come and check status on a ticket. She can add some more information. She drills back in and adds some more information to the ticket. We can see this ticket got assigned to the IT Service Desk by rule. And so all the members of that group just got notified that Daisy has added some more information to this ticket. All right, so Daisy knows that someone will be with her from IT as soon as they get in to help her resolve that issue. While she waits, she looks at her to-do list to see what else she should be working on this morning. And she sees that she needs to start the process of onboarding a new employee for the marketing department. Now, she just happens to notice back here on the home page, under the heading of popular services, a new hire employee request, service request item. So that makes sense. She clicks on the link and it brings her here to a form that is created to help us facilitate onboarding a new employee. Now, this is part of the service request catalog functionality of the system, and it really allows you to front end any type of request for any goods or services that your users routinely request from IT. Each one of these can have a full detailed description, again, including images and GIFs and videos, etc. And of course, a corresponding form. What are the fields of information we need to capture to facilitate onboarding this new employee? So of course, we're going to need things like the new hire's name. He is hiring Janet, who is going to be the SVP of marketing. We need to select her new hire role. Of course, she is going to be a marketing new hire. And this is a dependent drop-down field. So when I select marketing new hire, I get a new field here for what is her job function going to be. And Janet is going to be over brand strategy. I've got a text field here where I could cut and paste her LinkedIn profile. A true-false checkbox. Yes, Janet will need a security badge as she will be working in the office. A date field. Janet is going to be starting on the 25th of October. This is an upload style field. So if we had a picture of Janet, we could go out and add it to the ticket that's going to be created. She, of course, will need marketing applications, and this is an example of a multi-select field. And same thing here for the hardware required. So it's very simple for an end user to fill out the form and submit this request. And that, of course, then creates a new service request ticket on the technician side of the platform. So let's go take a look at that. Here I've opened up a new browser and I'm logged in on the technician side of the platform. Keep in mind that SolarWinds Service Desk is provided as software as a service. So all you need is an internet connection and a web browser or the included mobile app for both end users as well as technicians to be able to access the system and do the work that you need to do. I'm going to navigate to our list of open tickets in the system. And here we see that record for the new hire of Janet Smithers, SVP of Marketing, starting on October 25th. I can see it's currently in an assigned state and it's assigned to myself. It's a medium priority request with the category of IT. Here are the fields of information that Daisy filled out for us on that self-service portal. And the other big key piece to the service request catalog is the ability to build in a workflow. What is your process? How do we go about onboarding a new employee? If you've got a process that you can flowchart, then you can recreate that process using our drag and drop, no coding required, graphical workflow editor. And we can see the first step, and what we're waiting on now is we are looking for an approval. In this case, we used a variable that said who requested this, and that was Daisy, and who is Daisy's boss. And in this case, Daisy's boss is Bill. And of course, that information can be brought across through integration with Active Directory or other data sources. So the system knows who is whose manager, etc. Now, Bill is not even a licensed technician user. However, he, as a requester or an end user, he can have a slightly elevated role called the service task user. This allows Bill to submit approvals and potentially even complete individual tasks as part of a workflow. Now, the default behavior of the system when an approval is required is that the system will send an email. So Bill just got an email from the system letting him know that he needs to give an approval. This email will include the details of the request, and Bill says, yep, I know all about the fact that we're hiring Janet. That's good. Let me go ahead and write in the email. Bill can click that approve button. And now if we go back and we refresh our workflow, we can see where we are now. In this case, after getting an approval from Bill, we hit another point in the workflow, and this one is called a process integration. SolarWinds Service Desk includes a bidirectional REST-based API for integrating with any third-party system in your environment that can also communicate through a REST-based API. In this case, we sent a notification into Slack. And here we see that notification. Please welcome Janet Smithers to the company. Janet will be joining us in the SVP of Marketing role and will be starting on October the 25th. So you've got a lot of flexibility to automate as many processes as possible where you may not even need human intervention. And then moving forward, we can see we hit the next point in our workflow, which is a set of concurrent tasks. I've got a task here that has been assigned to my folks in the Human Resources Department. They need to add Janet to the payroll system and the HR system and send her benefit information. I've also got a task that has been assigned to my facilities team to set up Janet's office space, add her to the building access system, and provide her electronic keys. And I've got a task assigned to my service desk to add her to Active Directory, procure and set up her PC, and add the software that was selected that she needs on that computer. And so these have all been fired out at the same time as concurrent tasks. Once again, just like with Bill in that approval task, the members of my HR team and my facilities team do not necessarily have to be licensed technician users in the system. They can also have that service task role, and the system will send them emails telling them about the tasks that they need to complete. Here, for instance, is the task email that went to the members of our facilities team. They need to set up the office space and add them to the building access system, etc. And once they have completed that work, they can simply hit the complete button on this email. We also had members of the HR team get a similar email with the details about what they need to do. They can go ahead and complete that as well. So now if we go back and refresh our workflow on this service request, we can see that these two tasks have been completed, and now we are waiting on members of the IT Service Desk team to complete these steps. I can go ahead, because I'm a member of that group, and check that off as having been completed. And we have continued forward in our workflow. Another powerful feature of the workflow is the ability to configure condition sets. If we were hiring someone from finance, we might have different steps we need to complete, or if we were hiring someone from sales. But in this case, we are hiring someone from marketing, so now we have a task to set up the Salesforce account. Once that task has been completed, we've got a second task here to create a Trello account. And so you can use these condition sets to make it very simple to follow the proper path in the workflow so that all of the required steps that need to be completed to fulfill that particular request will get done on time, everything completed right. So when Janet starts working on the 25th, she has everything she needs to begin her job on that first day. So while this is an example of using the service request catalog to request an onboarding of a new employee, you're really only limited by your imagination what you can configure requests for. It could be something as basic as it's too cold in my office, so I need the thermostat changed, or I need a light bulb that's burned out replaced, or I need to check out a laptop for the weekend. Anything that you routinely get requested by your users, you can now front end through the service request catalog. All right, a few other highlights here from the technician portal. One would be the dashboard. This is where you can build out a custom dashboard to show you pieces of information that pertain to your job and what you need to keep up with. Each technician can create their own custom dashboards, and you've got the ability to share those with other technicians. Dashboards are made up of what we call widgets. You can drag and drop and move these around where you want to see them on the screen. And they're interactive, so if I want to see my incidents that are in the state of awaiting input, I can select that section of the widget, and it's going to drill me down into that underlying data. Here are my 5 incidents currently in the status of awaiting input. We give you a list of around 90 widgets that come with the system amongst all the various different areas of the tool. And many of these are also editable, so you can actually create custom widgets and even your own blank widgets around incident management. You can have multiple dashboards. So if I also do some asset management and I want a separate dashboard based on my assets, I can quickly and easily slip between those different dashboards. All right, looking at our Service Desk menu here, some of the features that are included are, of course, incident management. That includes the break fix type incidents as well as the service request. We've got built-in problem management for doing your root cause analysis of major issues. Change management for controlling the infrastructure and what changes are made into it, including a change catalog that allows you to build out templates of change so that they're done the same way every time and follow your process. Release management. Solutions is our built-in knowledge base where you can create knowledge articles, share those with your end user community. You can also flag some of those as only for internal use, just your technicians use. The service catalog, as we already saw demonstrated with that new hire request, and the CMDB, or Configuration Management Database. So those are the tools that encompass the Service Desk side of the platform. However, we also include robust asset management. Here we can see I've got a list of all the computers, assets that I'm tracking in the system, as well as a detailed list of all software titles installed on all of my computers, a printer section, a section for tracking mobile devices, network devices for things like your routers and your switches and your wireless access points. We also include a section here called Other Assets, and this allows for tracking an unlimited number of non-IP addressable devices at no extra cost. For instance, we have school systems that are customers and they track all of the school buses as other assets. We have hospitals that track the X-ray machines and the EKG scanners, etc. So you're, again, limited only by your imagination. Let's go take a look at a computer record. Here I can see a list of all the computers that are in my instance. And we bring computers in through multiple different possibilities. The most common way to get your computers uploaded and tracked within the system is through a tool called the Discovery Agent. The Discovery Agent is a small executable file that you would push out to computers in your environment. Most commonly, it's installed via an Active Directory group policy and/or a network logon script. And for all your Windows or Mac OS computers, once that agent is installed, it runs its initial scan. It captures around 200 data points of all the hardware and all the software installed on your computers and creates their inventory record here within the computer section of the system. Here we can see we've got the computer's name, the user that was logged in as of the last scan, the CPU and operating system information. We've got an IP address and all of the MAC addresses, the computer's domain and Active Directory group. And for Windows, we capture the OS product ID and the OS product key. It will categorize the asset. In this case, this computer is a laptop, so that was what was automatically selected by the agent. It could have been a workstation. It could have been a VMware with Microsoft operating system. It could be a Mac desktop or laptop. We also support Chromebooks, so various options there. And by default, it will set the asset status of the computer to operational. But this is a key field that you will use to track asset lifecycle changes over time. If the user this computer is assigned to leaves the company, we might pull this machine back, re-image it, and stick it in a closet until it's needed again, and we could update the status here to spare. When we have a new user starting and we need to find a computer for them, I could use my inventory to find a list of all my computers in the spare status, say, okay, we're going to take this one, move it back to operational, and then come update who the owner of this computer is. The system can also generate and print barcodes and/or QR codes, and these are the ones we recommend using. QR codes are more modern technology, and they work with that included mobile app. So as a technician, I can scan the QR code of a computer, bring up the computer's record, make any update changes to it that I need to, and move on to the next one. Here we see location details, this site and department. These are two core tables within our system. Sites being the physical locations that your company inhabits or that you support, and department being your standard HR, IT, finance, whatever your list of intra-company departments are. You can manually track all the way down to a building, floor, and room level. And for any GPS-enabled computers, we'll also capture the latitude and the longitude via the agent every time it is scanned. On this main screen, we also include a section for an unlimited number of custom fields. So any additional attributes that you might want to track about your computers that we're not tracking by default, you can add additional fields of various different field types. We also support file attachments and unlimited number up to 25 megs in size. Most commonly, we would see the PDF or Word document of the owner's manual, and you can associate an image file with a computer as well. Now, along with the hardware details, we're also going to get a list of every software title that is installed on each computer. Here I can see all the different software titles installed on this computer. However, these titles then roll up into a master software list. Here I can see a list of all the software titles installed on all the computers across my inventory. I can take and sort on any of these columns. And here I can get a list of titles that have multiple installs. This particular version of C++ is installed on 9 computers. And if I drill into that title, I'll actually get a list of all the computers that has this particular software title installed. These can then work in conjunction with our procurement module, which allows us to track things such as software license contracts. And when we're tracking software license contracts and working with that discovery agent with all the software titles found, we can then do some compliance reporting. It's very critical to know that you don't have more copies of software installed than you're licensed for. Here, for instance, I can see I own 25 licenses. It's installed on 2 computers, so I still have 23 free licenses. Or if I look here, I've got 15 licenses of this title, but it's actually installed on 28 computers, so I am out of compliance by 13 licenses. I either need to go and buy more software licenses and add them to my software license contract, or I need to go remove this software off of 13 of these computers so that I can get back into compliance. So very robust features around software and software license management. All right, back to our computer record. On the hardware tab, we will get even more detailed hardware information. Again, we see the computer's name, the product number, the OS details, IP and MAC addresses again. But I've got the model number and the serial number, all the BIOS data, the amount of physical memory and the swap file size for Windows, and of course the CPU information. Here I can see the keyboard and mouse drivers, the multimedia chipsets for both audio and video, a list of any USB controllers, and a list of all of the ports. My laptop has a docking station, so it has a lot of different ports, and they all show up here. All the way down to how many memory slots are on the motherboard and how many of those slots have memory populated in them, their capacity, purpose, type, and speed. So here I can see that my computer has a single 16 gig RAM chip with still an open memory slot. So if I wanted to add another, I could increase the memory on this machine. I also have a list of all the network adapters, including virtuals, any printer drivers installed, monitors, physical storage, all the way down to how many drive letters, volume name, capacity, free space, and use space. So some very detailed hardware information about all of your computers in your inventory. The Lifecycle tab gets me even more good information to track things such as the warranty data. For Dell machines and or Lenovo machines, those 2 companies still provide us with a public-facing API with warranty information, and the discovery agent will automatically be able to capture that warranty info. So I can see that I still have an active pro support contract and an active on-site service after remote diagnostic next business day. So great information about the warranty automatically captured. My next section here is a timeline view of all of the lifecycle changes, or at least the critical lifecycle changes of the asset over time. Earlier, we changed the status from spare to operational, and so that was captured with a time and date stamp. And I can associate maintenance contracts, lease contracts, and purchase orders with my assets as well. Our next tab on the computer record is our risks tab. The discovery agent can detect and create 4 types of risks on computers automatically. The one risk that we see listed here are computers that are not reporting in more than 7 days. So if the agent were to stop reporting in for more than 7 days, that's going to generate a risk. Maybe that computer's just been turned off because the person it's assigned to has been on holiday. It can also generate a risk if no antivirus software is found installed on the computer. That's going to be a pretty risky situation, of course. If the free space on the C drive drops below a configurable percentage, that can also generate a risk because we know that machine will start running slower. And finally, from our list of all the software titles found on all the computers in our environment, you have the option to designate specific titles as GrayNet software. This would indicate that these are software titles that we do not want to see installed on our computers in our environment. And so if someone installs a GrayNet software title, that will show up as a risk here as well, something we definitely would want to get removed from the machine at that point. And from these risks, I can generate an email to the owner of the asset, or I can create an incident, assign it to a technician, and have them go remediate the issue. Our next tab on our computer record is the incidents tab, and here you'll see a history of all the incidents ever logged against this computer. And we have the configuration item tab. This ties back into the configuration management database functionality, which allows you to define relationships or dependencies between different assets. And in this case, I've built a bundle saying that along with this computer, we gave this user a DeskJet local printer and 2 Acer monitors. These records came from that other asset section of the tool, and we've created a dependency saying these are child assets of this computer. So that way, if this user leaves the company, we know not only do we need to get the computer back, but we are also going to need to get back this local printer and these 2 Acer monitors. So really great detailed information about our hardware assets. Now that configuration management database can even go a step further. At the enterprise tier offering of our solution, we've actually got the ability to not only build out these dependencies between different assets and all the way up to a business service level. For instance, my business service of email is supported by these 2 Exchange servers, but we can actually visually map these together. And so if I want to look at what all makes up this business service of email, I can see that here in the business service map view. My 2 Exchange servers communicate with this Exchange database, which is hosted on this SQL server, which exists within this data center and specifically within this rack. And I can see my SQL server also communicates with my Dialpad server and my Citrix server. This is really great for things like impact analysis for change management. If I need to bring down the SQL server to make changes to it, I can easily and quickly see that that's going to impact Dialpad, Citrix, and email. So this is a pretty critical server. We need to schedule any downtime well outside of business hours to limit the amount of impact it has on our ability to do business. All right, finally, we've got a really great reporting engine built right on top of the platform. Today, we give you 35 template reports to get you started. They are spread amongst all the various different areas of the tool: incident, time-centric based reports for KPIs, service level management, customer satisfaction, tasks management, problems, changes, and releases, solutions or knowledge management, asset management reports, and chat reports. You can start with a basic report, such as the incident statistics over time, and use this template to start from to mold and tweak the report so that it's showing you exactly the data that you're looking for. We see right now we're looking at the last 7 days on a per day basis, and we're looking at incidents that have been reassigned and stacking them by the current assignee. But clicking here allows me to edit the parameters of this report. If I want to look at the last 90 days on a per week basis, go ahead and click apply. And now what I've done is I've started from a template and I've created a new custom report in the system. Here we can see that report now in the last 90 days on a per week basis, all of my incidents that have been reassigned and stacked by assignee. I can come and save this as a new custom report. And one of my favorite features of our reporting engine is the ability to schedule automatic generation and distribution of reports. So if this is a report I want to run on a weekly basis, every Monday morning at 7 a.m., and then who do I want it to go to? I want to get a copy of it. I want it to go to all the members of my service desk, and I want Bill to get a copy of it. Click save, and every Monday morning at 7 a.m., the report will be generated, saved as a PDF file, and attached to an email that gets sent to all of my recipients here. So that's the built-in reporting engine. And that is the high-level overview of SolarWinds Service Desk. I'll go ahead and stop sharing now, and we can open up for our question and answer time.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation, Brian. Joel, it was really insightful. Thank you very, very much. So now we are open to the question and answer session, and I trust that there are some who might have questions they might need to ask. And at this point, you would find that your mics can easily be unmuted, so you could ask questions you might have now. So any questions, anyone? From Hall, Joel has been sharing with us here so far. I'm sure Ran as well is on this call, is ready to attend to whatever questions we might have.
Yeah, you can feel free to put some questions in the chat window, or you can also unmute yourself. You know, a lot of customers will know SolarWinds from our infrastructure monitoring software. Even me, myself, I previously worked on teams where we were providing software for network management, systems management, database management, etc. And one thing that I noticed we didn't necessarily touch on, and I'm not sure if there are any Orion SolarWinds core customers on the call, but maybe we could take a quick look at the integration between the Servicedesk platform and SolarWinds Orion, which is the infrastructure monitoring platform, and how customers can potentially utilize that.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. Go ahead and share the screen back out again. We actually have a number of integrations that are built in with the Orion platform. One is the ability to have incidents automatically created anytime we get an alert within Orion. I'll have a list here of my Orion incidents somewhere. Now let's just do it this way. This feature here is called the filter builder. It's a quick way for me to drill in and find specific types of tickets I'm looking for. In this case, I'm going to choose the requested by and choose my Orion alerts and go ahead and click apply. And here we can see I currently have one open incident that was created via integration with Orion alerts. And it is telling me that the Exchange server is down. So as soon as Orion has recognized, during its network performance monitoring that a system has gone down or is experiencing degraded service, it has the ability to create a ticket automatically in the service desk. It can be routed by rule to the correct functional team or individual technician. And it is a bidirectional integration, so updates on one side would automatically push to the other side. Having the issue resolved on the Orion side could be configured to automatically even resolve the ticket for us here on the ticketing side within Servicedesk. Now, the other thing we have the ability to do is bring in asset data from Orion. Earlier, we were looking at a list of all of the computers in my system. We looked at my laptop, which was brought in by the discovery agent. But here I've got a number of servers that were actually brought in from Orion via that integration. And if I take and pull open a server list here, we can see that we're able to capture information about the assets from Orion and bring those into the system. And then there's also a section here called the networked devices. And I also brought in these 3 switches via integration with Orion. And so we can see information that we're able to capture here, such as the IP address, the MAC address, the operating system and version, and the ports that were discovered on this particular switch. And of course, just like with computers, I can associate these assets with tickets, with contracts, with people, and define relationships with other configuration items as well. All right, have we gotten any questions at this point?
Okay, yes, we have another one on the chat window now. It reads, "Thank you for the presentation," from Kayode Ajayi. He says, "But I noticed some of the items on your dashboard, like incident management, is not seen on the version I have running in my environment, but ticket icon is showing." That's from Kayode Ajayi.
Yeah, great question. We actually have several tiers of the service desk. They are the team, the business, the professional, and the enterprise. And so some of the lower tiers do not have the same capabilities that some of the higher tiers do. So it may be that this is part of the issue that is going on, is you might be at a lower tier of the software that doesn't have all the same capabilities that mine does. If you would like to inquire, with Ryan about getting a demo set up where we can talk through some of those differences and show you the features that you could gain by upgrading, that is certainly a possibility.
Yeah, if I can just pick it up from there, just to for the sake of information, show the 4 different price plans and maybe a little bit about the different features that are available in those price plans.
Yeah, I can sure do that.
Yeah.
Here's our page for the different tiers. We mentioned the team tier, the business tier, the professional, and then the enterprise. This first section just talks about what you get from us as a customer for your customer success and your support. And then when we scroll down, we see the different levels of functionality. So at the service management base, all of them come with incident knowledge base, service portal, satisfaction surveys, real-time agent feedback, and advanced collaboration tools. But then as we move up to the business tier, we're going to get things such as the shared services ready. We have many customers that not only use the ticketing tool for IT, but other departments within their organization also need to do basic ticketing functions. So HR could have their own section of the tool for tracking any HR requests or tickets. Same thing for facilities or legal or any other department. We can see the advanced approval workflow capabilities starts at the business tier. We saw that earlier when Bill submitted his approval for that new hire onboarding request. The service catalog, the service request functionality, problem, release, service level agreement functionality, and change management are all included at the business level. And then when we move up to professional, we also get change templates and workflows, service portal tasks and approvals, automations, and benchmarking functionality. At the asset management level, all all tiers get the inventory capabilities, mobile devices, the map and geographic locations, the ability to print QR codes or barcodes. It's the business tier and above that will capture that warranty information with the agent for Dell and the Lenovo brand machines. And you also get the purchase order capabilities. And then moving up to professional and enterprise get you the contract management with the risk management and the license compliance feature that I showed earlier. At the configuration management level, all tiers again get the ability to define relationships between CIs, but it's only on the professional tier that we get the discovery mapping capabilities, and only on the enterprise tier that we get that visual map with some automatic dependency mapping when bringing in assets from Orion. And then finally, at the platform level, all tiers get dashboards and reports, integration capabilities, the pre-built ones that are included, the ability to import or export data. Mobile app is included at all tiers. You get some basic portal customizations at the team level, and then even more from business and up. The ability to track sites and departments. And then moving up to business for the ability to define groups, customize the incident lifecycle. Internationalization, we support over 30 different languages at the business tier and up. And then at professional and enterprise, we get the ability to add an unlimited number of customizable fields, schedule those reports, access to an offline data backup, and the ability to customize email templates. So that's the functionality differentiation between the various tiers.
All right, thank you for that, Joel. We also have another question here from Stella Honor. It says, is there training package on ITIL, on ITIL?
So SolarWinds does not have an ITIL training package, but we do have a number of partners that we've worked with. Check with Ryan over in the UK.
Yeah, thanks,
he could probably
Ha-Shem are actually one of those partners, and Adebayi just actually put a reply into that message, I think, actually in the chat window, guys.
Oh, great.
All right, awesome, thank you. We also have one more question as well from Leye Ibiyeye. He says, thank you for this great presentation. He says, what is the process of onboarding? Does it come with three to five users like Manager Engine?
Yeah, good question. I can take that one. We don't have free licensing for like 2 or 3 users like some other companies do. We do offer a fully functional 30-day trial that can be used. And I think the entry-level pricing starts at about $20 per agent per month. But we don't do like, the first handful of licenses for free. For existing customers, they're not necessarily 100% restricted in terms of the number of licenses they get, meaning that if they want to add additional licenses, they don't got to complete their entire purchasing process before we provision them. We allow customers to go and add additional assets or users. And then if it's a case that, they're going to need those licenses long term, then we would be making contact with them about upgrade options. Because for a lot of companies, the number of technicians, the number of assets can be quite fluid. So we give you flexibility there, but not with free licenses necessarily.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Thank you. So are there any other questions?
Can I just share my screen just to add to what Ryan just mentioned about activating that 30-day free trial?
Okay, that's fine. Please go ahead.
All right. I'm just going to share my screen here. So like Joel had rightly said, we do have 4 different price tiers, depending on the level of functionalities you require from Servicedesk. The list of the trials start at $19 per technician per month. And if you're also looking at asset management, we charge just 10 cents per month per asset. And the assets we charge for here are, discoverable assets. So basically assets with IP addresses. So when Joel was going through the through the demo, he did mention about the other assets tab, assets such as your school buses or your desks, your chairs in the company. You can track those assets on the portal without incurring a license cost. So you also have the ability to be able to start small and upgrade as your need grows in the company. So we do have customers that have started from the smaller price plans, such as the Teams price plan, and have upgraded up to the professional price plans. There's a lot of flexibility when it comes to, upgrading your license plans and also adding extra agents along the line. So speaking to how you can activate your 30 days trial, it's only a matter of going to the website, clicking on start free trial, and you will be presented with a simple form. Just fill in your name, your company name, and addresses, and you will get an activation link in the email you've supplied to us, which would then be used to activate that 30 days free trial. And along the line, over there, we'll be in touch with you, just to make sure your trial is going smoothly. You've been able to activate that account, and also to offer pre-sale services. If you have some technical questions, if you have some configuration questions that you would like to address during that point, one of the sales representatives will be in touch to assist. Also, we have onboarding services when we come to the point where you've decided to go with the product. Would be with you all to the way to ensure your time to value is as short as possible, and you're able to start getting the benefits of an ITO service desk quickly. Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Jimmy. Thank you very much for that. And so from here, as we come to a close, of course, I'll just like to share my screen and just give you a wonderful offer we'll be having from SolarWinds as well, in regarding to some of the packages we are going to be having here, which you can see now that there's going to be an end of the year promo on SolarWinds ITSM solutions, which Rand can share more light to that. We can get to access as much as 15% discount on the purchase of SolarWinds Service Desk ITSM solutions, and the promo runs from now to the end of this year. Hi, Rand, do you care to comment on that?
Yeah, just to say that, that's exclusively available through Ha-Shem right up until the end of the year. And I think there was one final question that I'm not sure if we got to. It was just about the onboarding setup. And is that handled by Ha-Shem? And the answer would be yes, Ha-Shem and SolarWinds would be working with you during an onboarding process or an evaluation process. I think I'm seeing one other question. Oh, that's you yourself, Michael, just responding to that same question, I think. So yeah, thanks so much for hosting us. Really appreciate it. We're available for any follow-up questions that you have at all. Ola Jimmy is our local man on the ground right now, actually in Nigeria, available for any questions that you have. Joel typically works with our customers during pre-sales engagements and pre-sales processes. So if you do choose to evaluate the software and you need some help, or you would just like another overview of the platform to maybe discuss your use case a bit more, and maybe for us to maybe provide some advice on best practices and things like that, we're definitely available. And of course, the team at Ha-Shem are available also if there's any follow-up queries. So final words, just to say thanks so much for hosting us. And I look forward to having an event like this again with you sometime in the future. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Olajimi. It's been an awesome time with you guys. And trust that everyone on this call as well has been quite very engaged with the things you shared with us today. And we also look forward to having this again sometimes in the future as well. Thank you very much. And till another time, guys, if there's no other thing to attend to. So bye, everyone.
Bye.